Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, it's our pleasure to present to you the newest name in Delaware sports and sports around the world, who has had absolutely no success in the real world, so he's dedicated his life to talking sports. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Funday. Here, man. Nevada Nick, Stiz.
Yes, sir.
You gotten their cookies yet?
Yeah, you let us say it. Still cookless. I'm telling you, I'm like a kid who runs down to Christmas every morning to his tree on Christmas morning and's got coal. That's what my last week's been like, man.
Coach, I'm withering down to nothing here.
I know. My mailman hates me by now. I go, my cookies coming yet? My cookies coming yet?
Yeah.
I'm scared to think what he may do to them now. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not me. It's not me. They're coming from somewhere completely different. You know, my undisclosed location.
Wow.
Totally different from where the cookies are being made and shipped. But they went out last week. They should be here. But, you know, it's Christmas time.
Last week.
Yeah.
I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. They were the day before. So it wasn't last week.
To me, that's last week. But
How was that last week? We're still at Sunday, still during the day.
No, Sunday's the new week. Starts the new week.
Mondays that starts the new week, right, Stiz? Wouldn't you say? I go with Monday starts the new week.
Depends on what week you're talking about. You know?
Right.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me find it. Cookies went out yesterday. That was December 9th. So
yeah, it's like 4 days ago.
All right, so 4 days ago. All right. Man. You know, 4 days ago. So,
I'll tell you, I think those cookies are going to end up going to Santa. I think Santa already ate them.
Man, I don't know.
Coach, you care if I start with an Eagles point real quick?
I want to start. We'll get with the Eagles here. I real quick. I just want to touch on, you know, Florida's out of the playoff hunt.
Yeah, they're done now.
Huge,
what's up, Jason Dean?
Huge loss. With that
yesterday.
So
I mean, especially with LSU, you know, having a really down year. LSU even did I think it was smart. They did a self-imposed ban because of the whole OBJ thing. So they won't be in the playoffs this year because this year there's no minimum wins, obviously, because of the pandemic. Yeah, I mean, look, Florida, I'll tell you, it would be bad, Coach, if for somehow Florida upset Alabama next week. Because then it's like, what SEC team do you put in? And I think you got to put a team because, you know, they obviously played almost a full schedule. Pac-10 or Pac-12, excuse me, they've only played like 5 or 6 games. Jason team, I would think Notre Dame's in unless they get smoked by Clemson. Unless Clemson smokes them by like 3 touchdowns or something, which I don't think is going to happen anyway.
No, but you got Texas A&M who only has 1 loss. But
yeah, but
you know,
Notre Dame's 1 loss would be to Clemson, though. So
yeah, but I still think regardless of what Alabama does, Alabama, Notre Dame, and I think if Clemson loses twice, they're on the bubble. But because Florida lost, I think they're still in.
Yeah.
And I think Ohio State's out because they only played 5 games. I mean, that's an embarrassment. How do you have you know, a 7-8 win Texas A&M team sitting at home when you have a 4-0, 5-0 Ohio State team?
I'll tell you, Coach, you got to blame their conferences. I mean, just like USC. USC's undefeated. And me and Stiz saw one of the games. They've had like 3 great comebacks to keep that record 5-0. We were in AC the 1 week, Sid. Remember when USC came back?
Yeah.
And they're undefeated, but, you know, they're only 15 in the country because they started their season so late. So, look, in my opinion, I think the 4 best teams are obvious, and it's Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. I mean, I know Ohio State hasn't played a ton of games, and I get what you're saying, Coach. You know, and who have they really beat? Their best wins against Indiana and we don't really know who Indiana is. I think they got a good defense and look good, but they've beaten Penn State, who's 3-5, Michigan, who's 2-4, 2-5. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to get a grasp on what's going on there. What's going on, Kevin?
How you doing, buddy? Hey, listen, man. You know, I don't really follow too much college football, and going off the subject a little bit, but how about that Ball State Western Michigan finale? Was that crazy? You guys didn't see that?
No.
So Western Michigan was up by less than a touchdown. I think 3 or 4 points. I think 3 points actually. They kicked a field goal late. Ball State. Or no, I'm sorry. It was the other way around. Ball State was up by 3. Western Michigan, last play of the game, they did like 42 laterals, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
So Ball State recovers the football, or they thought, fumbled it. Both teams crowd onto the field because they thought the game was over. Ref never blows the whistle, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here we go again. Western Michigan picks up the fumble, lateraling 42 more times, ends up scoring a touchdown.
It's like the Stanford Cal game where the band ran on the field.
All the players are on the field. They're zigzagging and using the players as blockers, from the sidelines, jigging and juking. Kind of look like you back in the day, Nevada. You know what I mean?
Sure, I can believe it.
They were hitting a couple swim moves on them.
Yeah.
The whole deal. Anyway, long and short, they score a touchdown. They call it off. 1 illegal forward lateral.
Oh, that's brutal.
Crazy.
Does that happened? Miami it was or something, and it was really questionable. They called one back, and I didn't think it was a lateral. I can't remember. I think it was last season, Coach. Remember we talked about that? Miami had that crazy one, and you even said it wasn't that was bullcrap. It wasn't a forward lateral. They should have won the game, and I had that game. I bet it too, and I got screwed. But
now listen, let me just clear. I want to get to a couple things before we get into football.
That's right, JD.
Yeah,
I want to congratulate the Cape and Lopin girls field hockey team winning
another
state title.
Wow.
9 of the last 10 years. Talk about domination.
Yeah,
Coach Kate, Coach Katie, big fans of the program.
Yeah.
So, shout out to them. Great job, ladies.
Yeah.
In this, crazy time. At least the kids got, to play. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
And, bring home the trophy was kind of awesome to see.
Yeah.
And then, Tommy, we want to.
Sorry, buddy.
Out, PP Eater, Tommy, his dad passed away. We're, sorry, Tommy. Our condolences with that.
For sure.
So, and now we can get on to some Eagles.
Yeah.
That so desperately trying to get in.
Yeah.
Does Hurts flip the switch? You guys heard me, a couple of shows ago say I think it's just a smokescreen so Doug can save face with Wentz and just say, look, he's bad too.
Yeah.
And going against that number one defense.
Yeah.
I think that's
still, it makes zero sense once again for Doug. This move probably should have been made a couple weeks ago. And to me, because no matter what, we all know now, you've seen, I don't know what happened to Coach, but Stiz, you've seen what's happened to Wentz's confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's shot. Sure. It's dwindled down. So now Jason Peters is out for the year too.
Right.
And now you're going to put Hurts in. Jason Peters is out. You're going against the number one defense. Look, if he does well, it's great for Jalen Hurts, obviously, but I'm more concerned about messing up his confidence. And is this the right point to put him in? I know you needed to make the move, but they probably should have made the move a week or two ago, and then he's not coming into this type of situation. They better run the football a lot and not throw that kid out to the wolves, because if he has to throw 50 times, I don't know how much success they're going to have.
You're gonna hear a little bit more about that later on when I give you some of my plays. But man, you're throwing the kid out to the wolves, man. And what happens if what's up, Sammy? What happens if this kid, whether he wins or loses this game, what goes on moving forward? Are you keeping Carson Wentz out next week no matter what? Or are you playing him next week no matter what? what's the game plan here?
Yeah. I mean, Stiz, I would sit him the rest of the year. That's what I would do. What you, Coach? Yeah. I would just let Carson kind of sit back, see what you got in Hurts, because I wouldn't have the short hook on Hurts either, because that's not good for his confidence.
No.
I would just I think Carson needs to sit the rest of the year and kind of, whatever it is, humble, let him work on other things, maybe let him see it from another perspective on the sidelines. He needs to be humbled and built back up. Whether that can happen, look, I mean, obviously, I think they need to, fix the team around him too. The Eagles have a lot of problems, man, and it's crazy to think because everybody thought the Eagles and the Cowboys were the class of the division, but frankly, now it's the Giants and the Redskins, and their future is much brighter than those two organizations because they're both tied into a lot of bad contracts.
Uncle Bill, what's up, kid?
Yeah, so, and Coach, you wouldn't hurt putting some comments up. You know what I mean?
You want me to put some comments up?
Yeah, I'm just saying, it works. What's going on, Dante?
Dante,
Yes,
how you doing, buddy?
Sam, it was a good win for the Giants, and they got to follow it up today. I hate to say it, but they need another win. I think, Coach, you said you agreed. They got to win one of those Arizona-Cleveland games. They got to take one of them.
Yes.
And then I think you need to win one of the last two. They got to win two of these games, and I think they're in.
Hey, listen, Coach will like this. Looks like the kid Daniel Jones is going to be active.
Danny Dimes is back. Danny Dimes is back, and I'm hoping though is that the Giants, even though fourth straight game with 100+ yards rushing,
right?
That didn't happen all season.
Right
now that offensive line is fixed, but I'm hoping they don't get Danny Dimes into.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right, because they're relevant. We're talking about Giants and Eagles. Eagles are relevant, kind of, but the Giants are relevant now. You know what? Take your Raiders and
Put your in. We got an extra spot over here for him.
Yeah, you got Grand Five here coming invading the show, man. They're in first place. Thank you. The Giants are in first place.
Now, Coach, can you put up what Kevin said? Because I do agree with that. If I'm the Eagles, I'm going for the best draft pick. I really am.
Yes, I agree with that because you need draft picks.
Yeah.
Because you have so much
cap problems.
You're over the cap, so you need to get as much draft capital.
You know how much they're over the cap too? I saw yesterday. $68 million.
Is it 68? I knew it was about 68 somewhere in there. So
and just think, if you go release Wentz, that makes it over $100 million. So it's impossible. They're pretty much stuck with Wentz for next year, unless they can get really, really creative. And that would be a trade.
Yeah,
and I just
hold on a minute. If they trade him, that they can spread that $34 million out over. They're not.
I don't think they can. I think
they can. It is because the Giants were able to do that with OBJ. They spread it out. Now, I mean, you can't do a Bobby Bonilla and spread it out for years.
But who's going to take that contract?
Spread it out 3, 4, 5 years out, something like that. I'm not 100%, but it helps a little bit.
Yeah, Jason Dean, that's good. Jason Dean, call him whenever you want, buddy.
Yep, call in, man, whenever you want, buddy.
Love to hear from you.
Yeah, because Jason, I'd love to talk to you about the Raiders today because I tell you, that's a coin flip game to me, and I've kind of gone back and forth. A part of me thinks after the Raiders' last 2 weeks of just, let's be honest, atrocious football, they're going to come out today. But then when I do the eyes, and I look with this, and I use my head, I hate to say it, I think this favors the Colts, just being honest. It means I've said it to Stiz, I believe, a few times. Phillip Rivers is good when he plays bad defenses. And, the Colts defense is good. So, look, the Raiders have given up 24 more points in 10 of their 12 games. So, if that defense doesn't show up,
we're going to hit the line.
I think it's Jason now.
Call from Jason Dean.
Don't scream at me, Jason.
Welcome to the huddle.
Welcome to the huddle. You know it in a huddle if the quarterback is here.
Jason,
You know, I am the quarterback of this huddle, baby.
No, you're not.
Yeah, like Jalen Lorenzen standing there.
That's right, I am. I'm the hefty lefty, baby.
I think he was talking about Ed Sheeran.
You guys doing this fine Sunday morning.
You're doing
Wow.
awesome.
So, Jason Dean, how do you think the Raiders game's playing out?
And I tell you what, the kid from Texas didn't look bad, man. Colt McCoy did not look bad.
No, he didn't.
Hey, he didn't. He did his job. He managed the game. He did what was asked of him to do. And I said this before, Jason Dean, we played with fire. We didn't get burned. Now it's time to get Danny Dimes back in and let's go. You know?
You have to re-sign Leonard Williams next season.
I agree. The only thing that scares me, and you may not remember this name, but Albert Hainsworth.
I remember that scummy piece of shit.
So yes, but that kind of feels that way, and you know,
with the guys that are going to be coming out, they're going to be free agents like in Dockway and a couple other of those big names. They're going to want $20 million, $22 million. You know, Leonard Williams is going to want a lot. He's going to want about 20, 23 because he's young.
Yeah.
And he's still got a lot of play left in him. You know what I mean? He can still ball. He looks good with the Jets, you know, but nobody looks good with the goddamn Jets.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, Jason Dean, pass rushers, that's going to be an area I think your Raiders should be looking in because I think they need an edge rusher and I think they need a defensive tackle as well.
The Raiders need a defensive tackle. That's one thing we really, really need. Because we brought in Marinelli. Hopefully he could light a fire under somebody's butt. But I see we're moving Cleveland Farrell inside the D tackle, which I'm cool with. If Vic Beasley can pan out, that's going to be a big steal for us. Because I think Finley, I don't think he's playing. I think he's done because his injury stuff, he can't pass the physical. Which, you know, it sucks because he did have a little bit of an upside. But Beasley can play. He's still young. He's still got some time. He just needed a different environment, I think, personally. So
and Jason Dean.
Are a good environment for him.
Yeah, the Eagles did that with Brandon Graham a lot, especially on third down, where they would put him in on obvious passing situations and let him rush as a defensive tackle. And it helps because you got an edge rusher, you know, rushing from defensive tackle, what can be difficult for some of them guards.
And the Giants did that. You remember the NASCAR package,
right? Exactly.
I was going to say that the NASCAR package when the Giants won it, and they beat that filthy team in there from I don't even want to mention where they're from, Massachusetts, because they suck. But let's talk about the game of the week: Colts and the Raiders. This is a playoff game.
Absolutely.
Playoff game. The Colts are coming to Vegas with Philip Crimea Rivers, who we actually can get to. We've always have got to him. He's beating us here and there with his gosh darn it and dadgummit and whatever the hell else that yo-yo says. But I tell you what, what scares me the most about them is their running backs, Taylor and Naeem Hines.
Yeah.
Because our linebackers, which we brought in Corey Littleton, I don't know what's wrong with him this year. Maybe it's just new system, but you're a pro. If you're that good, you can come into a system and just play.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of Gunther. I keep hearing these little things about Greg Williams and God no. Please no.
Yeah, Jason
Greg Williams he's a good coach. I like Greg.
Yeah, but he runs a 3-4. It doesn't fit the Raiders.
He runs
it doesn't fit the system.
Right.
And then I hear Wade Phillips and Romeo Crennel possibly. We don't want a 3-4 defensive coordinator. No. We need a 4-3. We're built for the 4-3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I want somebody out of college that's got fire. I would like Saleh from the 49ers, but he's going to get a head coaching job.
Right, he is.
He's going to get a head coaching job.
And also, I think you need. But here's the thing. I think you part of that is you need to be more flexible because a lot of teams are going with multiple fronts now. Not just, you can't say that you're a 3-4 or 4-3 now because a lot of teams, they're in that multiple like the Giants. The Giants may start the game in a 3-4 look and wind up, in a 4-3. So
And a lot of teams run that nickel a lot too. They run that nickel a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jason, a big thing for you guys today too, man. If Jacobs don't play, and I know you said about Rivers, but they protect Rivers, that Colts offensive line.
And Trent Brown, big Trent Brown is coming back today, baby. I know I hate Scott, but
Is Jacobs
because Sam's not that young anymore, and Brandon Parker needs to go to the XFL because he's terrible. He is a terrible tackle. He made that kid from Atlanta look like Lawrence Taylor, and it was disgusting.
Now, is Jacobs playing? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he is going to be active today. But he's coming off an ankle injury, so I could see him and Devontae Booker, still splitting carries today, to be honest with you.
Oh, they're going to definitely. Devontae Booker, we saw it last week. He didn't play bad, but he wasn't what I expected.
He didn't play good.
He's not a starter anymore. He's just not.
He's a complimentary back. Booker's a complimentary back, and he's good with along Jacobs. He's not a number one, be your bell cow running back. But when you got Jacobs in there, he's very good complimentary-wise to Jacobs. So,
and we have Richard, too. Richard's back.
Right.
He's a good third down back. You know what I mean? He catch the ball, and he's lightning fast. If he hits an edge, he's done.
Yeah.
That's fast. Now,
right.
Last week, we tried to get Ruggs involved. He had the fumble. He had the drop pass that was picked that was picked off. He got it down. But you know what?
What?
In the end, he caught the bomb, and I don't know what the hell Greg Williams was thinking. I think he just wanted out of New York. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to run this. They're going to fight it anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah. So what's your score for the game, Jason Dean?
My score for the game today, I think Carr is going to have a good game. I know their pass defense is good, but I think Carr is going to have a good game. We have way too many weapons that they can't stop. I'm calling the score going to be 35-21, the Raiders, and we will move back up in that playoff spot and drop Crimea Rivers down. And I don't care what else happens because we're going to beat the Chokers. And then we got the Spins. We're going to beat them. And Tonga, and nobody gives a shit unless you're from Miami. And then we're going to beat the Donkeys in Denver to finish the year, get into the playoffs, and we'll see the Queefs. We will see Kansas City. We will go back to Kansas City, and we'll cause the big upset. Just like Notre Dame going to win the national championship.
Okay.
I love the positivity, Jason. All right, buddy.
Jason.
Good luck today, Jason.
Take it easy, Jason.
Good luck to your team. Nick, good luck to your team. Sid, if I see you in a Chokers jersey again,
Yeah. Fancy football, dog. No choker shirt. I don't want to upset you.
See you, Jason.
Oh, man. All right. Good call, as always.
Yeah.
Jason.
One thing we didn't get into them, and then I will go to other games, obviously. But, you see what a game Waller has last week, with the 200 yards. But before, previous to that, 7 of the 8 games, he doesn't have 50 yards or more than 50 yards. I don't understand why he isn't a focus of that offense. Because to me, he's the number one offensive weapon in regards to tight ends and receivers. You might be able to argue that Jacobs is on offense, but still, Waller, no doubt, is your most consistent weapon for Carr to throw to. Yeah, it is crazy, Dante. Dante's a Cowboys fan, so it is crazy. What's going on? You did hear Jason Dean's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Kevin, the big game for Notre Dame is going to be next week because obviously I'm excited for it. We're going to have Clemson, Notre Dame for the ACC championship next week.
It's kind of crazy. They could wind up playing 3 times.
Yeah.
In the playoff as well. That's kind of crazy, So, but we'll see. And I was just informed that the Dolphins have beat the Raiders the last 5 times.
Okay. Wow.
So just to throw that, just to throw that out there.
Right. And look,
guys,
I'll tell you, if to Raiders fans, I think like this. You want to, if you could take both the Colts and Dolphins game, obviously you want to because you're vying for playoff contention with them. But honestly, I think realistically, you want to split and then beat the Broncos and beat the Chargers. You're 3-1. You're 10-6. I think that most likely gets you in. Yeah, but look, you got a tough stretch here, and even that Chargers game squashed in the middle because you got these two huge important games against Colts and Dolphins, and that Chargers game is that trap game in the middle. And we saw what happened last time. I mean, it's in Vegas, but still, I know the Chargers just got whooped by the Patriots, but Bill Belichick whoops all rookie QBs. I mean, just go look at the stats. I mean, he confuses them. I mean, like Stiz said, Herbert has been money every week, except for 1 week, and that was Belichick. So, I mean, that's coaching. I mean, he's just, look, this Patriots team isn't that good. They basically have no offense. And he still has them around 500. So it shows you to the coaching of Bill Belichick.
Absolutely.
Look what happened Thursday night to New England. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come off 45-0 blanketing and then almost get blanketed themselves.
Yeah, and I hit that game. Stiz hit his prop bet. So, you've been going with me and Stiz this year. You're lining up.
Money.
Yeah, you're making some money. You're doing well.
You're cashing.
Dennis, why don't you change your name to DK? I'd be riding that. I'd be riding the DK Metcalf.
Dennis, man, what's going on? It's awesome.
What's up, Dennis?
What's up, Dennis?
And what's up, Joanne? Yeah, look, the problem is hitting Rivers. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, that Colts line, look it up. They keep him protected. That was the problem in L.A. or San Diego, whatever you want to call it. He would feel pressure and put the ball up. He hasn't done that as much in Indianapolis because they have a line that can actually block for him.
Right.
How about T.Y. Hilton actually becoming relevant again?
I know.
All the trash I talked about him earlier in the year. I mean, I'm still going to talk trash about him, but, he's actually making a name for himself again.
Yeah,
well, you want to get into some of your trash and treasures today for fantasy?
I think more treasures than trash, but yes, I will.
I guess he means your shits. There's the third trash. That's what.
I guess I don't know what he's referring to. You know what I mean? So the trash we talked.
Yeah, you brought up trash. I was just trying to segue in, man.
Yeah.
Little alley-oop. Okay, I got you. Right. Hey, listen. Last week the trash I gave you. How about that, Mr. Kiki? Do you love me? Big 8 for 141 last week, coming into the number 2 slot in the slot for the Houston Texans. Keep an eye on Brandon Cooks, man. It doesn't look like he's going to be active today. So Kiki might be jumping right in the number 1 spot. Playing against Chicago Bears, who have a pretty decent defense, but they're not as good as they were, I think, beginning of the year. So hopefully, this is playoff time, guys. This is playoff time in fantasy football. Very important. Hopefully your lineup is great. Playoffs. Yeah, you see the meme that came up on Facebook. But this is very important time. I mean, you lose, you're done, one and done. So you got to move on the next week. Get your lineup straight. Listen, I'm going to keep the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't get tricky. Don't get funny with your lineups. You drafted the guys you drafted to be your starters. So don't get tricky with it. Play the guys you started and don't be funny. But also last week, I gave you the start of the week, Justin Jefferson. 9 for 121 yards and a touchdown. Huge game. I gave you back-to-back prop bets, if you remember, Coach. Devontae Adams, I went back to the well last week. Remember, you said he burnt you last time.
Yeah, that's right.
Layup, dude. 6.5 receptions over. He got 10 easily. I gave you the longest touchdown of the game on Thursday night. Little sneak peek preview. Rams, 79-yard interception return for a touchdown. I'll take it, man. Getting back hot again. So let's go on to the waiver wire this week. Not too sexy, guys. There's really not much out there now, going into week 14. Yeah, everybody's kind of taken up. But I'm going to go over to the waiver wire. I'm going to grab Logan Thomas, tight end for the Washington football team. Going against San Fran today. Like I said, not too much to pick at. Let's get jiggy with it. So Logan Thomas coming off of arguably his best game of the season. 9 for 98 and a touchdown last week against Pittsburgh. Pretty damn good defense.
Yeah, he had a big game too. Yep.
Alex Smith building a nice rapport with him so far this year. He's had back-to-back touchdowns so far. San Fran wants a great defense. They gave up 4 scores to Buffalo last week, if you remember. So he's had double-digit fantasy points half of the games this season. So you want to be safe. You're short a tight end. Grab yourself a little Logan Thomas. Also, it's a shame this podcast came on late because I really like Cam Akers. Now, he played Thursday night, had a good game. Looks like he's going to be your number 1 there at the Rams. So if you can, for next week, maybe grab him, put him on your lineups in the playoffs in case you go past this week. Start of the week. I said keep it simple, right? Let's go Aaron Jones versus Detroit, okay? He lit them Lions up in week 2, brother. 168 yards, 3 touchdowns, 45 fantasy points. I can't see him not doing that again, right? Like a clown funny, that's right.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, little Goodfellas reference. Detroit giving up the most fantasy football points to running back so far this season. So Aaron Jones, he quietly chalked up 220 yards in his last 2 games, and they were against 2 of the top run defenses in the league so far this year. So you're going to go easy. You're going to go Aaron Jones this week. Should have another banner week.
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with anybody from Green Bay. In regard, Aaron obviously, and Devontae Adams. I think Adams had a big game against Detroit too. And that I think
Adams had a huge game. I mean, he's having big games. Pretty much every week. I mean, that's like I said, your safety blanket, your go-to. You just think about starting Alan Lazard today, who hasn't really done much since he came back from injury. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So we talked a little Eagles earlier, and I want to go to I guess I'll call it my obvious sit of the week. Miles Sanders, man, versus them New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
It's a shame, guys. You go back to the start of the fantasy season at your draft. Miles Sanders was drafted pretty much late first round, 10, 11, 12. And man, you really haven't got much out of him this year. It's we talked about it, 115 times. Bad play calling, not enough around him. Carson Wentz just, not getting the ball. I just don't get it. Last 4 weeks after his bye week, he's averaging 11.75 rushes. I mean, it's not going to cut it, guys. 7 receptions for 32 yards in them 4 games. Wow. I mean, he's your pass-catching running back. I mean, what are you doing? We argue all the time. We yell and scream till our heads fall off. Here we go. We got Jalen Hurts coming in, unknown commodity. I mean, I don't know. Do they get Miles? Maybe it's going to backfire on me. Do they get Miles Sanders more involved now that they got a new quarterback coming in? Maybe a lot of read option with them. I don't know, but I can't trust my fantasy playoffs on a guy who basically hasn't been relevant all season. I just can't do it. And hopefully, like I said, I'm sorry, Nick. Hopefully by now, I said you drafted him late, round 1. Hopefully by middle of the season, you learned your lesson and you got a backup for him to be able to start now in the playoffs.
And plus, too, as you know, too, Stiz, you can't trust Doug to run the ball. You would think this week you would try to simplify it, but I'll bet you money, too, the Saints are going to say take Sanders out of the game. That's what they're probably going to focus on, is stopping the run, maybe spying Jalen Hurts a little bit so he can't hurt you with his legs. But, Stiz, once again, too, like Miles Sanders, 5.3 yards a carry. I mean, that's unbelievable for a running back. I mean, 5.3 yards a carry, and he doesn't have one game. He ran the ball 20 times. I mean, the Eagles are just wasting this guy. And, it just doesn't make any sense. And I realized, look, if they gave him the ball more, his run per, his average rush would go down. There's no doubt about that. That's just how the league works, But still, if you got a guy that's giving you 4.4 yards a carry, 4.5 yards a carry, that's what you want. I mean, and it controls the clock. You win the time of possession game. It helps the play action. I mean, I don't get it. There's only one team in the league that can just throw. And that's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they're just special. They can pretty much ignore the run and get away with it. But that's about it. Everybody else, and you look at the Packers, that's the one thing their head coach has really done and helped is giving Aaron Rodgers a rushing game with Aaron Jones and sticking with it. McCarthy, if it didn't do it, he would just abandon it. And, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. It's a shame because it's a bad spot for Miles Sanders to come into this week with a rookie quarterback, and you're going against the number one run defense. So, like you said, I would think the game plan is they take it away.
Yeah.
Cam, what's up, buddy? Listen, Hurts should open the offense up. He's unknown. Yeah. Saints don't know what to expect.
Coach, you have no film on him. Yeah.
Coach mentioned it last week that he's surprised that they actually announced that so early. And maybe had them on their tiptoes because they didn't know what was going to go on with Wentz and Hurts. But he better open up the offense, Cam. They're going to have to do something to score points. They're going to have to be tricky. They're going to have to do something crazy. So we'll see. Like I said, maybe it'll backfire on me. Maybe somehow Miles Sanders will get 22 carries today, and maybe he'll 7 targets in the passing game. We'll see.
And maybe Doug will finally simplify it, like I've been saying for weeks. And, look, with Nick Foles, he always did that. He went back when the Eagles were in the playoffs with Foles the first time and they won the Super Bowl. He went back to Foles' 27-2 year where he had 27 TDs and 2 interceptions and found plays that worked for him and built it into the offense in the playoffs. But I don't know where that Doug Peterson's at. And I don't know if that was more Frank Reich than Doug Peterson, because you watch this, Doug, and like I said, it's not like, before it was, where's the team that won the Super Bowl? Now it's like, how did they win a Super Bowl? And I know they've gotten older and it's a different team than it was, but you just see the play calling and the some of the decisions, and wow. And I know Doug was aggressive, so sometimes you're going to make decisions that are going to get questioned. But like that one time where he didn't just kick the field goal, and it's 4th and 4. There's aggressive and then there's stupid. No, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's,
You're right.
You make the game a 1-possession game, and it made no sense.
And he's going for 2-point conversions when he doesn't have to. You know, like we said, it worked last year. You look like a genius. Well, guess what? Coach said it before too. Guess what? When it doesn't work, you look like a stunad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. No, and Doug did a lot of things their Super Bowl year. It just went their way. When they went for it on 4th down, they got it. And they were great on 3rd down. But a lot of the times, though, too, we don't forget Doug ran the ball. So he wasn't in 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8. He was in 3rd 2 and 3rd and 3, where a defense doesn't know what you're going to do. We all know when it's 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8, 95% they're going to throw the ball. When it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, they can run, they can pass. Sometimes they'll run and say, all right, especially if you're on the other side of the 50, you're seeing a lot of teams now at 4th and short are going for it. It's a different league. You know it, Coach. When you were at the 42 before, a lot of people were conservative. 4th and 1 would punt the ball. Whereas now the decision is a lot more to go for it.
Right, because the numbers tell you that to go for it, and and it's also situational. You're in a 1-possession game. Obviously you're going to punt the football and make them drive the length of the field, but
unless you're playing the Chiefs or somebody like that. No, right. You look at the game you're in and the game you're playing. Like that Giants Seahawks game, you were talking about a field possession, low scoring game where you're gonna punt. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of good football games today. I'm excited to see the Chiefs Dolphins game. The Chiefs, they haven't covered a game in the last 4 games and been playing close football. And the Dolphins have been one of those young, exciting teams. I'm really curious to see how they do at home in Miami against the Chiefs. I think that's going to be a good game. Obviously, we said we got the Raiders and we got the Colts. Tonight, we have a very good game in Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Tomorrow night, we got a good game. Yeah, with the Browns and the Ravens, in which, the Ravens are in must-win territory. They need to win these games. They're out of the playoff picture right now, which, me and Stiz said, I think Coach agreed too. We all said the Ravens were going to take a step back this year, but this is even further. I didn't think they'd be in third place in the AFC North and fighting just to get it. I thought they would be a wild card team, but I did think they would be 10 wins. I really did think they'd step back, but wow, they've really taken a step back.
I'll tell you, I don't see our Browns fans on the feed so far, unless they're just viewing. I actually like the Browns this Monday night at home. I really do. I think they can upset Baltimore. Baltimore's done nothing for me so far this year.
There's a lot of Ravens money. That line opened up, I think, around pick. Ravens are a 3-point favorite now in Cleveland. So a lot of Ravens money coming in. And Angela, sorry, but let's be honest. The Chiefs you're not going to win a division. To win a division, you need to win out, and the Chiefs need to lose every game. We all know that's not going to happen. Right. So, you want the Dolphins to lose because that's the team that you're vying for. And then, obviously you play them in 2 weeks on a Saturday game, December 26th, which is, I think, going to be the game of the year for the Raiders.
Listen, Angela, I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to root for Patrick Mahomes to have 5 touchdowns today. I had a huge prop bet at the beginning of the year. I need 5 touchdowns to go over that prop bet to make me some money. So, hey, listen, I'm greedy. I'm looking to get it today. I don't want to wait till the end of the season. I don't want to be nervous about it. So,
that's what was big for me.
Speaking of prop bets.
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I can work this.
Coach, where's your prop bet? See, he's going to say stay at 1-0. That's what's going to happen.
He might.
Your prop bet. Coach is 1-0.
No, you know what?
I think I'll just stay undefeated.
No. You said DK Metcalf take over, so that'll be your prop bet today. All right, Coach? DK Metcalf over. That's your prop bet today. I'll look it up. Yeah, what's your prop bet, Stiz? Sorry.
All I know it's 10:43, and Coach is still 100%.
That's right, baby.
Listen, week 14, I gave you back-to-back prop winners last week and Thursday. I'm getting hot again, guys. Jump on the bandwagon. Keenan Allen over 6.5 receptions today versus them stinky, hot Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta gives up second most fantasy points to wide receivers this year so far. Chargers coming off a big loss last week, man. 45-0 donut. You think Herbert's going to be a little bit pissed off this week? And who's his go-to? Keenan Allen, man. Get a Cadillac in the mail on Sunday. Hey, I just traded my Caddy CTS in actually for my Optimus. So okay. Well, let me get my cookies first, and then we'll talk about the Cadillac. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah. We'll go small first with the cookies, then I'll look, for the Cadillac from Coach.
Keenan Allen over 6.5. Nice. Yeah. Now, Coach, can you put up what Dennis said? Playing the Colts, I don't know that I drop him back too deep because Rivers doesn't throw the deep ball as much anymore. He's 20 yards and in. So this week, and even the Dolphins too. Now, the Chargers game's different. Herbert will sling it all over the field. Right. So you might want to drop him back. But this week with Rivers, he doesn't throw it down the field. I'd want to get pressure on him. And, they're really struggling to get pressure with their front four, the Raiders. So maybe you need to send a linebacker, maybe Abrams a little bit from safety. But the Raiders defense better show up today. And, I said that, look, only 2 of the 12 games did they hold their opponent to less than 24 points. And one of them was the Browns when it was 50-mile-an-hour winds and raining. Well, on a regular weather day, Browns maybe score 24 points. So the Raiders defense has really let them down. And that's why a part of me feels like the Raiders are going to come out and play well. But then the other part of me looks at this game and says the Colts are 6-2 against bottom 12 defenses. They do well playing bad defenses because obviously they got a good defense, and then Rivers can be successful. When they play good defenses, Rivers doesn't play as well. It's a closer game, and you kind of see their record isn't near as good. And then, like I said, the Raiders, it's can you trust that defense to make some plays today? The defense is going to need to show up. So, let's be honest, that's been their problem all year. We'll see what happens, but it's a big game, and both these teams too. The last year, I think the Colts started 6-2, didn't make the playoffs. Raiders started 6-4, didn't make the playoffs. So here we are this year too. both of them here, big game, late in the season, December football. Let's see who wins. So I guess, Coach, you're ready for my picks now?
It's Nevada Nick. Get ready to make some money. Nick's picks coming up in the huddle with Coach Muddle. Cha-ching! Dollar bills.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
All right. So the first game I'm going to go with is, look, I've been riding them all year. Best team against the spread in football, the Miami Dolphins. And some have 7.5, some have 7. If it's 7, by the hook. You know, how many games do we see land on a touchdown? It happens. By the hook. I like Dolphins plus 7.5. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Dolphins won, but I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to win. But the Chiefs haven't. Look, as you know, Coach, you know, Vegas will inflates the lines for Super Bowl winners.
Right.
And that's just being sorry, Angela. But no, you know, Vegas always inflates the Super Bowl champions lines the following year, and especially the Chiefs the way they are. Chiefs haven't covered a game in the last 4 games, all of them under 6 points, their wins. So I think the Dolphins are going to keep it close today. I think they do lose, but I'm going to go Dolphins plus 7.5. And then my second game, I'm going the coach's team.
Yeah, buddy.
The Giants have been really good to me this year too, and I think you have 2 teams going in opposite directions. You know, the Cardinals 5-6 weeks ago were a team we were all excited about, and now you're kind of seeing it go the other way. I'm not a big Cliff Kingsbury fan. I don't think he's a great coach. I don't know if he's right. I love Kyler Murray, and that's another guy we need to cheer for. Stiz, I think he needs 2 TDs for Kyler Murray to hit his prop bet. But I'm going to go Giants plus 3 at home. I think they're going to find a way to win this game. Yeah, I love that, and I also too, just so we know, on my futures, I have other ones too, but I gave out Patriots under 8.5 wins. I need one more loss for that. I gave Bengals under 6 wins. I need one more loss for that. And then I gave Detroit under 7 wins. So all 3 of those looking pretty good right now. So, but those are going to be my 2 straight bets, Dolphins plus 7.5, and then Coach's Giants, which I hate to do, but I like money more than, you know, pissing Coach off. So I'm going to go Giants plus 3. So then I got a bunch of teases today. I love my teases today. You know, I'm a tease guy, and I frankly, I think I'm pretty good at them. So my first one,
he likes getting teased by the women.
I do. You know,
yeah.
You know, Coach likes to go to other places. You know, we'll say nameless. So my first one's going to be 2-team tease. I'm taking the Titans -1 on the road at Jacksonville. You know, Titans tough loss last week. I think they're going to bounce back. Look, you just need them to win the game, basically. So I'm going to go Titans -1 with the Bucks -1. And look, I know the Bucks haven't looked good, but big game for them. They were on a bye last week, weren't they, guys?
Yes. Them in Carolina.
Right. Coming off a bye. So I'm going to take Titans -1, Bucks -1. Really like it. Think it's a good tease. My next tease, I'm going to go to Green Bay. I mean, look, Green Bay's fighting with New Orleans for the number 1 seed. Let's not forget the Packers beat the Saints earlier in the year. So if those 2 end up tied, tiebreaker goes to the Packers. So all they need to do is have the same record as the Saints, and they're only a game back. Saints play the Chiefs next week. So that's a big game for the Saints, a game they could obviously lose. So Packers, you know, have a shot at that number 1 seed. And Coach Stiz, you guys know, that number 1 seed is going to be so big this year with being the 1 team that gets a bye. I mean, it's going to be such an advantage. And it's, you know, if you're a team, you're going to want it. And I think you're going to see a lot of these 1 seeds are going to end up making Super Bowls because, you know, look, I mean, I don't know how many years in a row, but it's been a while now. It's been the 1 or the 2 seed, you know, get into the Super Bowl. Not many. I think it's since Coach's Giants might have been the last team.
Not to interrupt you real quick, Nick, but talking about that 1 seed or whatever, Pittsburgh better watch themselves, man. You know, 11-0 to start. They lose last week. Now they got a tough game coming up. Right. You know, against the Bills. I think they lose 2 in a row, man, and they might take a back seat to Kansas City. So huge.
Yeah. So Packers -2, and I'm going to put with them with the Saints -1.5. This line is really weird. Yeah. Some people have 7.5. You know, I've seen 8.5. but I like the Saints. I wouldn't lay the 7.5 because something just doesn't seem right with that. The Eagles now lost Jason Peters. I mean, so you're missing 3 linemen. How this line is this low makes 0 sense to me. So I'm going to take it easy and just take this, the Saints minus 1.5 to essentially win the game. I like that. So Packers -2, Saints minus 1.5. And then my last tease, I'm going to take some points. I'm going to go to the game tonight. I'm going to take a team that's 11-0. I'm going to take the Steelers plus 8.5 with the Washington football team plus 9. I think you're taking 2 good defenses to stay in the game. I think, look, the Steelers are getting Connor back tonight, getting Pouncey back. Big Ben's thrown the ball 50 times the last 3 games. Each game, I think you're going to see more running the football, obviously. And look, the Bills can be run on. The Bills can be run on. San Francisco showed you that. So I think, obviously you're going to see a better mix tonight. That line, a lot of Buffalo money. I think the Steelers are going to win that game outright. I really do. I like the Steelers to win that game. Buffalo has been on a run, but I think that the Pittsburgh's defense is going to kind of slow them down. I see like a 20-17 type game, but I think the Steelers are going to win that game outright. And then I like the Washington football team getting 9 points against San Francisco. I think if that game, you're going to see a very low-scoring game. I just don't think Alex Smith is going to do a lot on San Francisco's defense, and I don't think Nick Mullins is going to do a lot on Washington's defense. I think you're going to see a very low-scoring game. But look, Alex Smith, he's done what he's supposed to do. He stabilized this offense, and he doesn't make mistakes. Is it pretty? No. But the guy's a winner, and he's always been a winner. Now, I do believe there's a ceiling with Alex Smith, but he wins you games. And look what he's done with Washington.
Great game manager, man.
He is. So that's, like I said, those are my picks, and I'll go through them again real quick, Coach. So it's Dolphins plus 7.5 straight, Giants plus 3 straight, 2 team tees, Titans -1, Bucks -1, another 2 team tees, Packers -2, Saints -1.5, and then Steelers plus 8.5, Washington football team plus 9.
Make that money, baby. Make that money.
Making money, baby. That's what this is all about.
I love it.
And like I said, man, with me and Stiz this year, you've and we're tough times right now too for a lot of people. You've been able to put some money in your pocket. There's no doubt about that. And I'm on I think 7 of the last 8 run.
I pulled the old Nevada Nick I was doing during the pick.
Yeah, this is my tick, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, these guys with their nervous tick and the zippers, man. I guess I got to get a zippered one now.
Well, at least we can put our words out. Coach's nervous tick is when he's trying to get a thought out, and his brain is – he looks like a guy who's constipated on the throne.
Listen, Angela, whatever it takes.
You would know because you watch a lot of guys on the throne.
Yeah, okay, Coach.
Angela, whatever it takes to get viewers on, you need me to show, a little cleavage. Hey, listen, I'll take one for the team, brother.
The guy's a team player, and I give it to him. I wish his cookies were to him. You know what I mean? This guy
always will.
He toes the company line up here, over here. No, what am I doing? This guy right here. Yeah, I get it. So. This toes the company lines. All this guy wants is it's like backwards. That's what's so weird because you want to go like this, but then it's the other way. The guy just wants some cookies, man. I know.
He just wants some cookies, man.
I went to Giant yesterday. Picked me up 2 gallons of milk. You know what I mean? I was go. Sitting by my front doorstep. Nothing.
That's right. Hey. I'll tell you, man. That's all I've been looking for. Nothing better than a nice cold glass of milk. Some cookies, man.
That's it.
It's unbelievable, Coach.
I wanted to bring up a name.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here with Kenny Golladay, dude. Kenny Golladay, the last 5 weeks with a hip injury, they never put him on IR. I just don't get what's going on here. I don't know if it's contract related because I don't think he has a contract going into next year, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just wondering. I mean, I have him on one of my fantasy teams. Speaking of, before we end this show or whatever, 2 out of 3 leagues. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That might be our banner next week, Angela. You know? 2 out of 3 leagues in fantasy, I made the playoffs. So let's see if I can go on a run here. I ended up the number 2 seed out of both of them. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good luck, Stiz. And then they obviously too, Stiz need those. He's right there, man. He's on the doorstep, as you would say, with his 2 big prop bets he gave earlier in the year. Patrick Mahomes, was it over 35.5, Stiz?
35.5, yep.
And then Kyler over 23.5, correct?
Correct.
So root for some Kyler Murray touchdowns. I know, Coach, you won't, but let's hope Kyler maybe throws a touchdown or 2 and the Giants win. All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for it.
Okay. Yeah, right. So
and listen. Good luck to everybody watching here. You know, that's in the playoffs for fantasy. You know, hopefully you guys took my advice. Hopefully you guys have been listening all season.
Yeah,
and we definitely appreciate everybody that's on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Coach, who do you got?
It's out on YouTube. Make sure if you're not, go over to YouTube. Coach Muddle, subscribe, ring the bell. We're also our people watching on Twitter.
Yep.
And we appreciate it. And if
Coach, who do you got in the Giants game?
well,
I thought you said you're an analyst, so I wanted to know. I thought you could just analyze.
I put my analyst hat on. I'm going to put my eye patch on, and I'm really going to watch the game thoroughly. And I'll give you my analysis tomorrow. You don't have
a score, or who you think's going to win?
I have a score. I have the Giants 24 and the Arizona Cardinals 20.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants are going to win a close game. Yeah. And look, it's a big game, obviously, because too, as crazy as it sounds, they win this game, they go to 6-7. Cardinals fall to 6-7. So you might even see if some crazy things happen. Vikings are 6-6 in the playoffs right now. If they lose, you may see 2 NFC East teams in the playoff. How crazy would that be, Coach? After all the teams they trashed in the NFC East, you know, anything's possible now. And I think both of them have winnable games, both tough games, but I think Washington football team and the Giants both have winnable games. And yeah, later on at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, Angela's doing a pregame show, and I'm going to pop on and say what I think about the Raiders-Colts game today.
All right, very good. We like that. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you like the page, do all that stuff. Coach Muddle. It's Nevada_Nick. If you want to follow him on Instagram or Twitter. So check that out. And of course, me, it's just Coach Muddle. Just type it in. We pop up.
It's this. We're going to need to get one for you now.
Yeah,
too,
you got to get one, buddy. You got to get in there, man.
So, I got to catch up.
We appreciate everyone. Thanks for checking us out. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll recap all football today and go over that. Get your Monday picks for tomorrow. So everyone, enjoy your day. Have a great day of football, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for checking us out.
See you guys.